getting this invite, it means a lot. This is the biggest All-Star game that you can be in. This so far I had a great experience. It's different. I've never been in this environment. When I first got here, I thought it was gonna be a little hot. I came off the plane with a long sleeve, some shorts on, slides, and first I get outside and it was just cold out here.
Yeah, this is not a typical Alabama weather, but probably helps you guys who are from the north.
Oh yeah, I'm from Columbus, so once I get adapted from it, I'm good. I was in Florida for 2 weeks, so I got adapted to that real quick. But once I get adapted to this, it's not gonna affect me.
You've been training down in Florida?
Yeah.
Where at with who?
Pete Bommarito's, yep.
What's that been like, just kind of preparing for his transition from the end of your Ohio State career to the NFL?
It's been good. Pete does a great job with the scheduling wise. So the things that I do at Pete is real organized, and it helps a lot.
What are the things that you've been working on with him?
My 40 time, the combine stuff, and then also, I do some position work. I work with the DBs, do some linebacker drills, and do defensive line stuff.
What are the biggest things that you feel like you're going to be able to show scouts this week?
Just show off my athleticism, just how physical I am, the way I use my hands, and the way I can just work sideline to sideline.
You mentioned working on some D-line stuff. You
Yeah.
have the size for it.
Yeah.
Have people talk to you at all about maybe trying a little defensive end?
They haven't personally told me, but I know I can be that, that 3-4 outside linebacker, so I can play that. I can play Mike, Sam, or Will,
How much do you think that versatility is going to help you at the next level?
It's going to help me out a lot. Just me being I can play either one. I can it'd be a three-down linebacker. So a lot of teams like that. Linebacker that just you don't have to keep getting on and off the field. So I think that's going to help me out a lot.
When you think about the player you were coming out of high school and where you are now, just what are the biggest things that you learned in your time at Ohio State?
So coming out of high school, I was a big offensive guy. That's what my mindset. Because high school, I played quarterback.
Yeah.
So that just transition to that to be a defense. The physical part was already there. The toughness part was already there. Because I just used that quarterback. I wasn't your typical quarterback with throw, drop back, throw. I was more of the running. Try to. I don't run out of bounds. That was my motto in high school. I never run out of bounds. I just go through people. So, that toughness was there. It was just more of the get familiar with the plays, and getting the technique down for linebacker.
What do you think are the biggest things you learned from your coaches at Ohio State that just made you a better football player?
So this last year, I know Coach Washington, he really emphasizes on using my hands and, getting off a block and being more violent, and I feel like I showed that all last year. He brought it out of me a lot.
You're obviously a guy, you could have a year ago, you could have said, I'm going to go to the NFL draft in your junior year. You would have been drafted. How happy are you now that you made that decision, come back for another year, have the year you did with Coach Washington?
I'm happy, just the position that I am now, I probably wouldn't have been last year, junior year. Junior year, I didn't start clicking on to the last 3 games. So just, having that extra year, helped me out a lot.
Was it hard at all, kind of getting over that loss to Clemson in the season?
Yeah, I was still, hurt about it. After the game, I still watched the game. I had watched the game, and I was hurt, but it's on to a new chapter.
Kind of have to flip that switch and start focusing.
Yep.
When you just think back of where you came from, being a Columbus guy, how much pride do you take in now having that opportunity to kind of put on for your city and to kind of represent Columbus on the national stage?
Columbus, I love Columbus. I still, anybody say something bad about Columbus, I get on them because, it really take a heart to me. Like, Columbus is really like my city. There's a lot of people, a lot of young cats in Columbus that, look up to me. They hit me up on Instagram, ask for, just tips what they can do in high school, how can they get recruited, and I really take that to heart and really, help these guys out. My trainer back at home, he has a big little training facility. I always go back and, talk to them and, just give them words of encouragement because, in the city, Columbus Public, where I came from, we usually get looked over by a lot of schools. So, just me being that example, you know, make it out to Columbus Public really just helps them get their confidence up and be like, I can do what Malik is doing.
What are the messages you give to those kids? What are the things you would tell someone that if they want to be the next Malik Harrison, what are the things that they should do?
So the first thing, you know, is definitely grades, you know, because a scout is not going to, college coach is not going to come to your school if your grades is just bad, you know. And then just, you know, your film just got to be awesome. Like, no matter how, like, no matter opponent, you know, whoever it is, you have the ball. Like, you can't just be an average player. You have to stand out. The most athletic, the most, you know, you gotta be the spotlight of the team to get a lot of people's attention. And then, you know, you just gotta have great character. You know, you can't have that, you know, that big-headed, you know, you think you're the superstar throughout the whole school, you know, because you know, they talk to teachers, you know. All the teachers at Walnut Ridge, they love me. You know, I still come back. I still go back to Walnut Ridge and, you know, visit everybody, and everybody just loved me throughout the whole building.
When you watch film of NFL teams and they're watching you, what do you think are the biggest things that they're going to see from your Ohio State film?
You know, how big I am and how big I am, and I'm able to, you know, get sideline to sideline. You know, how physical I am, and the way that my instinct was this year was fast.
How much do you still talk to some of the guys that are at Ohio State and are still going to be there for next season?
You know, I talk to Baron Browning like at least 2 times a week. You know, he's that guy. You know, he should be like, you know, the next star, a linebacker. You know, so you know, I talk to him. I talk to Kavon Pope. I talk to Tuff from time to time. But you know, Baron was my roommate back in Ohio State. So, you know, I still talk to him a lot. You know, just give him the things that I should have done my senior year, or things that he should do just to improve his game.
So you take pride and you want to see him here next year?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I tell him what goes on all the time with me. You know, even if I'm at Pete's, you know, he'll be like, so what y'all doing? You know, I tell him just give him a heads up before, you know, because I believe he's going to be here.
For Ohio State fans, who are some of the young guys in that linebacker room that maybe they don't know about yet that they should know about?
I'm going to say, you know, you got little flashes from Kavon Pope, but, you know, I feel like him and Dallas Gant, they're going to be, you know, and Taraja, them 3 right there, actually. You know, that group right there is, you know, they're hardworking, they're tremendous athletes. So, you know, I should see, like, in the next 2-3 years, you'll see them blow up.
You're a guy that you had to wait a couple of years to kind of really get your turn. Do you talk to guys like that and kind of say, hey, be patient, stay the course?
Definitely. You know, my little brother this year was Craig Young, you know. So he, you know, me just talking to him, just encouraging him throughout the whole season, because, you know, at first he didn't start at any special teams at all. But, you know, I'm telling him, like, you know, you want to get on the field, go ahead and get on that special team. Special team needs a lot to get on that defensive side.